Growing up as a highly sensitive person, I didn't like to be criticized, but being a writer for almost a decade and sharing my content online, there is bound to be some criticism. Instead of feeling hurt and offended or avoiding the conflict, something interesting happened when I approached the critics and have a conversation with them. So many years ago, when I was promoting my first book, I received some criticism from someone. She left comments on my blog and wrote to me using words such as anal, cocky, and repulsive. You're not supposed to say your book is good. I was feeling a bit hurt by her comments, but instead of resenting her, I was more curious as to why she uses such harsh language. Doesn't she know that her words can hurt someone else? So I wrote back to her and told her how I felt and how my dad used to motivate me by criticizing me, but that didn't work. I felt more hurt and worthless when he did that instead of feeling motivated. And I grew up having low self-esteem. Then something interesting happened. She apologized. She told me that her childhood is similar to mine. She thought that being critical will help another person, and she believed that criticism needs to be harsh for it to be effective. While I believe that one can criticize using a much kinder and more compassionate tone, we connected through our similar experiences, and there is an exchange of worldview through mutual understanding. If you are easily hurt by the criticism and judgment of others, it's easy to feel offended. The common reaction is, why is this person so rude and so mean? I didn't even do anything to hurt them. Why are they hurting me like that? But by resenting another person and seeing them as the bad person, the bully, it immediately puts you in a position of a victim. You are in a much weaker position where someone's action and behavior or words get to dictate how you feel about yourself. But if you approach the situation with curiosity and try to understand where they are coming from, there's an opportunity to establish a connection. Most people are mean. There is a reason why they criticize you, and this reason is mostly about them, not about you. For example, in my story, that lady believed she was doing me a favor by criticizing me. There was another time when I received an email from someone telling me to take down one of my articles on INFJ. He said he was very offended and I'm spreading harmful misinformation. But after some exchange of email, he realized that he has misunderstood what I have written. And I have since then clarified my sentence to make it much clearer. More importantly, the reason why he was so angry is because he was mistyped as an INTJ and fell into depression due to misinformation on the internet. So that was his knee-jerk reaction to any misinformation. Of course, not all criticism warrants attention. I need to put this disclaimer out there before I get criticized again. You have to use your own discernment. For example, I receive comments like, "You are an Asian, why do you think anybody will want to read your book in English?" Well, I can't change my race for you. And there's another review which is, I find it very funny. It says something like, "I open your book and it looks self-published, so I threw it in the bin." Well, you can at least recycle the book instead of throwing it inside the bin. These critics are showing what they believe through their criticism. Their criticism is a reflection of themselves, not me. Like, Asian can't write in English, or like self-published book sucks. This has nothing to do with me. I don't have to take them personally. I don't have to correct them or share my belief with them because I sense that they are not very open to hearing alternate views. So I just ignore or delete these comments. There's no need to talk to them more and they will eventually go away. Ignoring negative criticism is a good way to handle criticism, but you have to be mindful that if you still have resenting voice in your head, like you're still blaming them or arguing with them in your head, then you're not fully detached from the situation. Perhaps a better way to handle criticism is to refocus on your initial goals and intention. Like when I write my books and share my insight, I'm just giving myself a voice and enjoying the creative process. I'm creating for myself and people who find my content valuable and helpful. I'm not creating for those who dislike it. 99% of the people will like your content. Why focus on the 1% which you are not serving? That's not my goal and not my intention at all. My goal is also not to get everyone to like me or agree with my opinions. People are allowed to have a different point of view than me. I'm just sharing my opinion in my space here. There is no conflict. People will get you to do what they want you to do, but you need to be clear about what you want. I think the best practice I have ever received is when I give tuition lessons to young kids. Kids will say anything so that they don't have to do what they dislike to do. I have students telling me that I don't like your voice, I don't like that you're mere, you're a bad teacher. It is a very humbling experience. But at the same time, if you take it personally, then you are being distracted by a student. The student has taken control over the situation. So I usually will say something like, I know you dislike my voice, but we're still going to answer this maths question. And if you don't like me as a teacher, you can always tell your parents to change teacher after the lesson. When you are very clear about your goals and your intention, then criticism from other people will not impact or affect you that much. Dealing with external critic is similar to dealing with internal critics. If you know how to deal with your own inner critic, you'll be fine when someone criticizes you. Watch this next video to learn how you can do so.